Hey there, and welcome to day 14 of Vlogmas here on Less Things, Big Dreams. If it looks like it's early in the morning, it's not. It's actually the afternoon. We have had a lot of things going on today, so we haven't had much time to film, but taking yesterday off, we wanted to at least get some content out for you today. So what Emily and I are going to tackle is inside the Cougar here. We just have some cleaning to do, just getting things cleared out still from when we were living in it this summer, but we thought we'd just bring you along and answer some questions, like most commonly asked questions that we get asked, and we thought we'd just take turns answering questions while we are cleaning things up. So come along with us and we'll get things cleaned up.
All right, so first question, where have you parked while stationary? So we've parked, our first stationary spot was at Charlie's parents' house for about a month after we did the renovation. We did the renovation there, then lived there for a month, and then we moved to a friend's property in Issaquah. It was a fantastic spot. That's when we stayed there until May of 2020, and we came over here to Eastern Washington to my parents and stayed the summer. And then you know how last year went, like it just kept going and going. So we traveled for a bit, and then we stayed 2 months on the Texas coast and 2.5 months at our friends the Hoopers, home with the Hoopers. So check them out. What are you wearing?
It's my weighted vest. It's for working out. Well, when I do work out. Anyways, next question was why we chose an RV, or excuse me, why we chose a fifth wheel over like your conventional RV that has a motor. I think there's two main reasons. The first one is the maneuverability and handling of an RV, a fifth wheel over like a travel trailer is huge. And as far as RVs go, there's a lot of, without going into too much detail, there's a lot of like annoyances of having an RV and then a vehicle in tow. Some RV parks count that as two vehicles. There's a whole different, there's a whole bunch of information about that. But other than that, the other reason why we like our fifth wheels over an RV is that you get the most livable space for the shortest distance. And so if you have like a travel trailer, you know, the trailer starts after the bumper of the truck, and say that's 30 feet, but if you have a fifth wheel, you can have the same amount of distance behind the truck, but you have also some space in front of the trailer, so like up in the bed of the truck, so that makes it, you know, more length, more living space for the same amount of length. So that's why we like RVs. What is the color of the kitchen in the Montana, our last build?
Beta fish by Bear. It's probably one of the most popular questions. It's pretty darn close to that. That's the closest match we found. The color we based it off of, they discontinued the color, and we don't seem to have any of the chips anymore, so sad day for that. But I bought Beta Fish by Bear and touched up our cabinets last time, no big deal. Okay, next question is, why are you doing sheet vinyl over vinyl plank?
All right, that's a really good question. I would say, guys, pros and cons. So the plank vinyl is a lot easier to install, and I think that's why a lot of people kind of go for it. It's readily available. You can get it in a lot of places. The problem with plank vinyl is if you've ever moved a few boxes of the plank vinyl, it's extremely heavy. So the heaviness is a big problem when you're doing RV renovation work and you're replacing flooring. But also with the plank vinyl, it doesn't do as well with with moisture. So it all depends on like what core you're using. Like there's different types of cores that you can use in plank flooring. But overall, I think I see why people do it, but the weight concerns, they're just not quite worth the trade-off. So sheet vinyl, if you've seen that before, it's more common. That's actually what almost all RVs are manufactured with. And that's for a reason. There's no seams. You don't have to worry about the plank separating. Water is much better. It does much better with water intrusion. And I guess the downside would be that it's a lot more tricky to get it installed and do it correctly. When they do it from the factory, it's really easy because that vinyl flooring is the first thing to go on before the walls or any of the cabinetry is in. They just roll that flooring out. So it's really easy, but it's not impossible to do it in a renovation, and that's my number one recommendation, is to use it. Mostly because it's just so much lighter, it's more resilient, and it's actually cheaper in a lot of ways. So that's my thoughts as far as plank flooring versus the sheet vinyls. All right, Emily, everybody wants to know, how do you do the dirty in an RV?
Are you for real?
No. Have you ever used peel and stick tile, and what are your thoughts?
So we used peel and stick tile at the very beginning when we renovated our Montana. We had it for about a year, and my issue was it started like yellowing, pulling away from the wall, sliding down the wall, so your seams, like, even though they were perfect when you started, they were not perfect in the end. The only peel and stick tile I have heard good things about is the Nomad tiles, and RVer created them, and so they're fantastic. I've seen them in person. They're much thicker than the typical Tic Tac tiles, any of those ones. So hard pass on the regular Tic Tac. I would try the Nomad tiles. When we pulled out our peel and stick, we opted to go for the faux brick, which was a fantastic option for us. Charlie just scribed it in, put the panels on. He used a peel and stick tape, so we didn't have issues with if you wanted to remove it. A lot of people will suggest you use construction adhesive or liquid nails on the walls, but you're guaranteed to ruin your walls if you do that. So yeah, the double stick tape and caulking, and you're good to go. All right, how long do you plan on being a full-time RVer?
Okay, that's a really hard question to answer. We originally set out to live this way, to live small, and also to kind of live minimally. Without a better way to put it, like, we just couldn't afford to live the way we were living. And this was kind of our exit. It was a way we could fix our problem on our own. And so over the past couple of years, that's what we've done. And now even like selling the Montana and coming home and getting this trailer and starting to renovate trailers professionally, and create a business of our own and an income of our own, it's just more examples of ways that we're learning to depend on ourselves and not on others, and becoming more self-sufficient for our income. And also, we've really gathered a lot more along the way than we expected. As far as like our family goes, we are incredibly close. We are very involved with our kids as a couple. We're very close now, and so I don't really know. I know Emily would probably agree. Like, we don't know how long, but we also have really big goals. We have a lot we're wanting to accomplish in the next couple of years, and all of those things wouldn't be possible unless we were living the way we do now, which is, living minimally, living without a lot of things. But those things that we're living without are what allow us to pivot. And, for me, quitting my corporate job and having the ability to start a business, like this lifestyle, the way we live, is the only way that we're able to do that. So how long? I don't know. I think that Emily and I have decided we'll always have some sort of tiny home in our possession, a way to travel, a way to kind of live minimally. So we'll see where it goes, but as of now, there's no end date. Is RV life glamorized, or I guess a better way to put that, like, is it overhyped?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's definitely overhyped and over-glamorized. At the end of the day, what really matters is, do you know why you're doing it? What's your mindset? Like, it's just like when we've lived in smaller houses and we all of a sudden decided that the house was too small, then of course you're going in looking for a bigger place to live. If you don't have a solid foundation as to why you're doing something, it's going to be really easy to hate it and want something else. That's why the phrase, the grass is greener, exists. But, no, I mean, who wants to show, like, the hard parts of their life? And so it's not super fun to show the hard moments. Like, those are personal moments, and people on social media aren't required to show all of those to you. But you have to know going into anything you do in life that there's going to be challenges, and it's not going to be sunshine and roses all the time. And if you're doing this life because you saw someone on Instagram or on Facebook or on YouTube doing it, and you think it's going to solve your problems, it's not. One thing I can be 100% sure on is that RV life, it takes all of your problems and it just like fillets them, like lays them bare, and you get to deal with them all at once. Like the first year of RV life, we worked out so many issues in our marriage, like in our parenting, careers, and then when we started to travel, we addressed a whole new slew of issues. So yeah, if you think it's gonna be a problem solver for you, it's probably not. If you're willing to work hard and dig into the issues that show up, you'll do great. Do tall people fit in RV showers? Some. Barely.
No, some showers. I'm 6'2" and like a half. I don't know, 6'3". If I have shoes on, I'm 6'3" for sure. So do you fit? Yes, if you're concerned about it. I mean, I will say skylights are your best friend. Can't guarantee that the shower head's gonna hit you in the head. You definitely have to like bend down and wash your hair. But
what does that look like?
What?
A shower.
Oh well. This is, yeah, that's where it's at. So I would definitely have to like get down here.
Is that what you do?
Yeah. But it hasn't really been an issue. I would say like doorways can be an issue, and it depends on the RV. Like I know like our Montana, the main entry exit door, it was actually pretty tall. It wasn't that big of a problem. But I know like our friends Grand Designs that we've gone in, like the Momentum toy haulers, those doors are quite a bit shorter than what our Keystone had. So every manufacturer is going to be different. So the best way to know is to walk them. Like we've walked hundreds of RVs and we kind of know what we like. But I would say don't let it deter you. Like this particular RV, maybe I'll do something different to accommodate a taller person. There's a lot of things you can do, and that's really what we're trying to broach in this market and how people live in their RVs is, why not change it up a little bit? And there's a lot of things that you'll see us doing on this build that we're doing intentionally to challenge kind of how things have always been done. So is being tall a problem? If you're 6'3", not quite, but anything taller than that, you might start having some issues. All right, Emily, the next thing, this will be our last question tonight. And this is more a question for us, and to help everybody else know why, which is, why did we choose the name Less Things, Big Dreams for our channel, our brand, and what does the new logo represent, and why did we choose that?
So first of all, Charlie chose Less Things, Big Dreams. I had a really hard time when we first started. We didn't really know anyone in the RV space, and so we just sort of picked a name out of the hat that seemed to go with where we were going. But as the years have passed, we've really identified with it and learned a lot from it, honestly. It's forced us to live at the level we were preaching. And so we're definitely in the Less Things camp right now and the Big Dreams camp. It's taken us a while to really live our brand. And we encourage everyone to do the same. If you strip down your life to the bare minimum and you actually lean into what your dreams are and you have the guts to say it out loud, what you want, you can go far. And it's not going to happen overnight. It's not going to be like one of your videos goes viral and you get to live this incredible life doing whatever you want. That's not how it works. It's still hard work and it's sacrifice, but yeah, so we've been grateful for it. I think it's pushed us. We did rebrand. Well, we finally branded, let's be real. And so we have a tree as our is it like an icon, I guess you would say. Mostly just to symbolize growth and like that you can put down roots, but you also can soar to the sky. And there's just so much opportunity out there, and we want people to chase it. We want to create a movement of sorts around living more intentionally. And so we are working on some merch that's pretty cool. We have a couple of funny shirts coming your way. We have just some inspirational ones, that are kind of a statement when you go out and about. But yeah, so we would definitely love your support when those hit. the, what do you call it? The shop, I suppose. We're gonna have a shop. This is also weird that this is our life, but we're so grateful for it, and we're grateful that you follow along. It feels really bizarre that, you know, X amount of people watch our videos and are interested in what we're doing. But your comments are seriously so kind and so, they bolster us so much, and we're so appreciative. We read everyone. Like, Charlie reads them to me randomly. He's like, someone said this. And it just boggles our mind, because like that kind of support is so incredible. So what you do is, just by leaving those little comments, is so kind.
And that's going to do it for today's vlog. I know that was a little different, but we just wanted to start answering some questions, because we know there's still a lot of new people here that don't really know us on Instagram. They don't really see our lives, and we decided it'd be a good opportunity. We might do another one of these later on in the Vlogmas series later this month, so keep your eye out for that. But other than that, we wanted to thank everyone, as usual, for following along, for the comments you leave, for liking these videos, for subscribing. That's the best way to support us right now, is just to help us to grow. One thing about what we're doing is that we don't really know what we're doing as far as social media and YouTube goes, but you can guarantee that, you know, we're trying. We're trying to figure it out. We're trying to make this a legitimate business. This is what we're doing moving forward, and it's really important to us that we find a way to support ourselves while also supporting you guys. So we do appreciate you, and thank you so much for following along. We're gonna keep cleaning tonight. I got a bunch more I want to get done, mostly so that I can start tearing the cabinets out of this trailer and start doing some design and layout for what we have planned. So stay tuned for that. I will see you guys tomorrow, and have a good night.